average rents in Toronto have risen by double digits in the past year. No matter how you look at it, the growth is pretty clear. TRREB's latest rental report shows a 13 to 25% annual increase in rents, and other sources like torontorentals.ca shows a similar growth with an average annual rent increase sitting at 19% as of June of 2022. If you're a real estate investor in Toronto and you want to understand more about why rents are rising so quickly, just keep watching because I'll be diving into this right now. But before I continue, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos like this made specifically for real estate investors in Toronto. Rents in Toronto dropped in 2020 and 2021, and it wasn't until recently that rents have gotten back to pre-pandemic levels. Here's the thing, rents and real estate prices typically have an inverse relationship. When property prices are going up quickly, rent growth is usually weak. And when property prices start to come down, rents start to gain speed. So perhaps we can start by taking a look to see who's looking to rent these days. And if you ask our leasing team, they'll tell you that a big majority of renters looking for a place these days are those who currently don't live in Toronto right now. We know that throughout the pandemic, a lot of people moved out of Toronto because they didn't have to work in the city or they didn't have to go to in-person classes. So when you combine this with the fact that the fun things to do were also shut down in the city, there's just not much of a reason to stay here. Now that things have reopened, it's very obvious that people are moving back and a lot of these people are renters. And then we're also seeing a lot of new immigrants looking to rent these days. Here's some stats for your reference. We've already seen a record growth in new immigrants last year to Canada at 405,000 people. But now we're expected to beat that record for the next few years with targets of 431,000 people this year in 2022, 447,000 next year in 2023, and then 451,000 in 2024. Almost half of these newcomers end up living in Ontario, and a good majority of them specifically in the GTA, and most end up renting first. So as you can see, the rental demand is very strong and in fact is continuing to grow in the foreseeable future. Now, what's happening with the rental supply side? The first thing to note is that there's just a lot fewer units available for rent because existing tenants aren't moving as much because they want to keep their lower rents. Here's an example. If someone started renting a basement one-bedroom apartment last year, they might have paid $1,400 per month. Even with a 1.2% rent increase for 2022, they'd still be paying $1,417 this year. A similar unit now on the market rents for $1,600, so if they want to avoid a big rent bump, the wise thing to do is just to stay put. The second reason why there's less rental stock is because fewer renters are turning into home buyers these days. Take a look at this. When rates were at 1.75%, a couple with a combined $150,000 family income was able to afford a home that was around $1 million with a 20% down payment. Nowadays, because stress tests are getting tougher with rising interest rates, the same couple would only be able to afford a home that's $787,000. So even before considering higher mortgage costs, new home buyers are forced to rent for longer because they're getting priced out of even two-bedroom condos in Toronto, which typically go over $800,000 these days. Tenants staying put end up contributing to a huge drop in rental listings, and you can see this pretty clearly in TRREB's latest Q2 report, showing a 30% drop compared to last year. Existing listings are down, and new rental stock is also dropping. When interest rates fell to rock bottom levels, we saw a huge increase in real estate investors who took over as the largest buyer market share in Ontario last year. What ended up happening is that these real estate investors created new rental stock, which ended up helping meet the growing rental demand, which slowed down rent price growth. But now that interest rates have started going up, this has slowed down buying in general, and investors are the first to move to the sidelines. Here are some numbers just for perspective. There were 0 new single-family homes sold in June. Developers are delaying the construction of 10,000 units because pre-con sales aren't going well. TRREB sales volume is down by at least 1/3 compared to last year. So as you can see, it's pretty clear what's happening. Demand is increasing, which adds fuel to the fire, but the big change comes from a supply drop, which is causing rent prices to shoot up at record pace. The reality is that investor holding power in Toronto is a lot stronger than the media portrays it to be. If you're thinking about entering the market these days, cash flows aren't so bad if you can afford freeholds. Yes, freeholds in Toronto do cash flow positive on the market these days, even if you're using higher interest rates at 5.5%. In my last video, I talked about bond yields falling by 100 basis points in the past few weeks, and it's possible to see fixed mortgage rates follow soon. So if your borrowing rates end up being less than what you projected them to be, then you'll end up with even better cash flows. And this might also end up being the turning point that gives real estate investments the support it's looking for. I do dive into this more in my last video, so definitely head there if you want to learn more about this. As you can probably tell from what I've been talking about, we are big believers in investing in freehold in Toronto, and we're a real estate sales brokerage that focuses on just that. So if you want to chat more about this, we're ready for you. We can take a look at your requirements and preferences and then match you up with the best investment property that fits your needs. After we help you buy it, our team also provides renovations guidance, leasing, and property management if you need it. So just connect with us if you want to learn more about our services by heading to the link in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and look for us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you want to hear from us more regularly. I wish you all the best in your real estate investing journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!